Hello friends, thanks for joining me here in another tutorial session. This is a second part of our attempt to learn web services essentials. If you haven't seen the first part, I suggest you watch that prior to this. You can find the first part link in the description box or at top right corner of this video right now. So friends, this was the agenda that we have set earlier to grasp all the web services essentials. We have understood what is web, what is human web, what is programmable web, etc. Let's continue from where we left by understanding about services. So friends, if someone asks you what is a service, how do we define the term service in our normal non-software world? You can think about it, but if you ask me, I would say a service is anything that you get to use it. To give one example, the water that reaches your home or office from the public utility board. Isn't it a service? Yes, it's a service. The electricity that reaches your home is another service. And service can be a free one or a paid one. It depends. Most of the things that we get or utilizes in this world are services provided by others. Right, friends? And we are so privileged to get those services. But when it comes to software web world, there are a variety of services provided over the web. And just because they are provided through web, we can simply call them as web services. Some examples are like free news providing sites, e-learning sites, etc. They are all services for us. So in that particular context, we can even say that a website is a web service. Though technically we don't want to classify website as a web service. To give more examples, you can say google.com is a web service, amazon.com is a web service, etc. Because these all providing us services using the web, and we humans consumes them or uses them. But we are more interested in knowing the services that can be consumed by the programs or applications using the programmable web. This is where things getting more interested. So friends, let us understand web services in a deeper level. As discussed earlier, a client program can submit a request for a particular resource to a server machine, and then it get back the response. And based on the response, the same client program can take any certain action, like saving the response to a database or sending it through an email, etc. And one thing to note here is the humans or the browsers are not involved at all. So obviously the return response should not be in HTML format, but it should be in XML or JSON format, which can be understood by the client program. So we program the web itself and create a web service or web-based application by using the already existing technologies. And it can communicate directly with other distributed web applications or serve the client request as mentioned above. In simple terms, machines could use the web just like we people do, or program can communicate to another program on the web. Remember the Amazon example that I mentioned in the part 1 video. These service applications use open XML-based standards and transport protocols to exchange data with clients. So friends, web services are being developed in all programming languages and made available on the web. The client program or application which consumes the service need not know what kind of programming language is being used or the internal data structure of the API. You can request data from a web service using simple HTTP GET request, and the data returned is always in open standard, which the client program should be able to understand. And it provides a lot of benefits, like an application developer do not need to start building a service for his product for any particular need if it is already existing and provided by others. So simply use it. And it allows you to expose the functionality of your application to others over the network. And anyone can start consuming your service. That means you generating the business and economy. There are many such public web services, and the web services which are private to organizations and enterprises exist today. Software companies develops web services or APIs to be used internal only too for the different applications or modules within the same applications to interact each other. These are private web services or APIs and not for outside applications or programs to consume. The fundamental similarity between these web services, that means which are accessed by other programs, and web applications which are accessed by humans in a browser is they both are working on the HTTP protocol. That means, like the web applications, for the web services too, there should be a mandatory request submitted in order to get a response, as HTTP is a request response protocol. So without any request being submitted by the client to the server, there won't be any interactions between two APIs or between a browser UI and an API endpoint, for example. As in HTTP mechanism, unless you ask for anything, you won't get a response or you won't be able to invoke a server to perform any action. Okay friends, that's it in this session. I have recorded another session showing an example of a popular web service, Google's Translation API. Please find its link in the description box or at right hand side of this video. In the next session, we will discuss how web services are classified and what are they. I thank you for watching, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe now. Until I see you in the next video, it's Musa signing off. Goodbye.